my name is Jamey Arent, and these are some of my favorite Hendrix licks and riffs, some stuff that come from his solos and just stuff in his style. And whether it's lead playing or rhythm playing or solos or kind of taking the blues to a whole new planet, Jimi Hendrix is a total innovator, and it's great to be able to use some of his stuff in your own playing and be able to use those chordal voicings and some really great sort of approaches to the blues. So one signature thing about Hendrix's playing is that for most of his career, live and for a lot of his studio stuff, he tuned his guitar down a half step. So every string tuned down a half step. So you have E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. So to really nail that sound for this video, I went ahead and tuned my guitar down a half step. And I recommend you do the same because then you can play along with a lot of the Hendrix recordings authentically, but also there's just a different sound you get when you play that low E flat chord. So when you see it written or you hear me talking, I'm going to be referring to it as E or A or B. And I'm saying that as if we're in standard tuning, but really I'm tuned down. So when I say E, you're hearing an E flat, but just for purposes of visually seeing the guitar and seeing that as an E chord, we're going to be calling it E. So I hope that makes sense, and this is really how to get the Hendrix sound nailed. That and some good fuzz and turn it up loud. So I hope you enjoy these Jimi Hendrix inspired lines. So this is a Jimi Hendrix inspired lick in the key of D minor, and we're going to do a D minor pentatonic shape. The lick comes out of that shape up at the 10th fret. And the way this lick happens, this is a thing that Hendrix would do, a really cool little bend kind of idea. So we're going to take third finger, I just line up my fingers 1, 2, and 3, so my third finger's up at the 13th fret, and bend that F at the 13th fret up to a G. And you want to take the second string with you. And when you come back down, you hit the second string. So you go up with the first string, and then down with the second string. So your third finger's holding on to that. And then we'll end that little half of the phrase on an A. Then we'll do the same thing on the second string with the third string, except when you come back down, you're going to want to bring back down the note that your second finger is holding onto on the 12th fret. And then we'll end with that F with your first finger on the 10th fret on the third string. So really slowly. So the idea is to go up one string and come back down with the other string, but because of how you've bent it, the second string in that phrase kind of goes with it. And so when you're bringing it back down, you're getting the bend of coming down, but on the second string. So in this little phrase, it's an E minor pentatonic up at the 12th fret. So we're going to start by taking your third finger on the 14th fret of the third string and do kind of a classic blues phrase where you bend that A at the 14th fret on the third string into the B that's at the 12th fret of the second string, and then roll over to the 12th fret on the first string, E. And then we're going to bend from the 15th fret up a whole step, and then back down to the E. That's at the 12th fret on the first string with your first finger. And then bend again, that same idea. But this time we come down to a D. And then we're going to do a little bend from that A on the 14th fret of the third string. And then first finger on the 12th fret of the G string. it is in slow motion. So here's a Hendrix lick in A minor. We're going to start with your second finger sliding into the E on the 3rd string, 9th fret, and go up the pentatonic scale. So E, G, with your first finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and then with your 3rd finger up to the A on that same string, 2nd string, 10th fret. And going to bend up from an A to the B. And then back down to the G, and then we're going to shift down 1 pentatonic position. So your 3rd finger is going to be on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. And with a little blues phrase. So bending with that D. Then to C with your first finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. Sorry, 5th fret of the 3rd string. A to C. So here's a cool little chordal example of a Hendrix type of phrasing and a type of riff he would use. This is in the key of F. And he got his start playing in a lot of R&B groups and touring around, so he picked up a lot of that Curtis Mayfield style R&B chordal type of thing. So that's where this comes from. So we're going to start out with your first finger on the 13th fret, on the 1st and 2nd string, and slide it to the 15th. And then kind of make that little F chord shape. But you're going to do a little hammer-on from A to B flat on the 3rd string. So that's the 14th to the 15th fret. And then there's the root, F. And then we're going to jump down to sort of an F major pentatonic position, kind of around the 10th fret. So we're going to play from C to D, and then play an F, and let that F ring out. So C, F, C, D, F, and then D, C. And then I'm using my 3rd finger to hit the B flat at the 13th fret on the 5th string. And you can hear those notes are still ringing out. And then I play this little F inversion, F chord with a 3rd in the lower kind of bass part. You got A, the 12th fret, 5th string. Here's a C that's on the 4th string, 10th fret, and F on the 10th fret of the 3rd string. So. One more time. So here's a Hendrix lick way up at the 15th fret. This is a G minor pentatonic. A little classic pentatonic position. We're going to start with a little repeated. So with this, we're going to start at a C, bend into a D, and then up to an F, up at the 18th fret. And then go from that C and bend that C that's at the 17th fret on the 3rd string a little bit. Then there's a B flat. And then there's that classic blues phrase again. Bend the C to D at the 15th fret, and then to G. And then I'm gonna do a searing bend from the 18th fret, bending from a B flat to a C and back down. So here it is in time. So here's an example of kind of a Hendrix chordal thing, kind of a ballad. So we're going to start with an A chord, and we're going to pick the notes individually, but let them ring. So we'll have an open A, then an E, and we're just making kind of the basic open position A chord, but I'm doing it all as a bar. I'm barring over strings 2, 3, and 4, and then an open A on the 5th string. So A, E, and then on the 2nd string, a little hammer on, C sharp, D, C sharp. And then I'm going back and playing the A that's on the 3rd string. Then up to a C sharp minor chord. And the same picking pattern and same strings apply, we're just changing the chord. So if you make a C sharp minor 7 chord at the 4th fret, 5th string, and this time the little trill will be between your 2nd and 4th finger, and that's going to happen on the 2nd string between the 5th and 7th fret. So far we have. And then slide your 1st finger to a D, and then your 3rd finger, and that D's on the 5th fret of the 5th string, and slide that D, get your 3rd finger up to an F sharp on the 5th string. That's on the 9th fret. So once you get that F sharp, you'll hammer on your 1st finger and your 3rd finger from the 5th to the 7th fret on the 4th string, while also playing the D, that's the 3rd string, and then pull off. And then we're going to jump all the way back down to a low F sharp with the 1st finger, 2nd fret on the 6th string. And as you make that shape, you can take your 3rd finger and your pinky and move them to a B and an E. And this is, the B is on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, the E is on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. And you play those 2 notes together, slide them up a whole step or 2 frets, and then back down. So here it is in time. So here's a Hendrix lick in E, and it uses the open position E minor pentatonic. So we're going to start with this bend. You can play the A with your 3rd finger and use the other fingers for reinforcement. That's on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. You want to bend that up to a B, so bend it up a whole step. And then you can sort of bend it without using your pick after you get it up there. You can sort of shake the guitar. Then back to A. And you can do the G sharp instead of the G. He would do that. Or just the G. And then hammer on B. And then hammer on A. So I'm hammering on an open A quickly to a B, the 2nd fret with my 3rd finger. Then I'm hammering on an open D to an E. Then hammering on G to G sharp on the 3rd string, 1st fret, and then hitting strings 1 and 2 open. And if you get a lot of good fuzz on there, you can really let that first one sustain. So here's an E minor pentatonic, kind of blues lick with a repeating. So we're bending that A to a B, to a D, back to a B. Play that phrase 3 times. And then A on the 14th fret, 3rd string, slight bend, and then a nice vibratoed G on the 3rd string, 12th fret. So for this, once again, E minor, pentatonic, 12th position. We're going to play a double stop, 3rd finger on the 14th fret, 3rd string, pinky on the 15th fret, 2nd string, and you're just going to bend with the 3rd string, but leave your pinky on the 2nd string planted. So it's good for pinky strength to really try to make sure that that string doesn't move with the 3rd string. And then you bring it down, and you're going to play the 1st finger on the 3rd string on the 12th fret. But you always want to play the 2nd string too. So, and then play that G, and then the A with the 3rd finger on the 14th fret. And then do that same bend again. So. Cool, so here's a little Hendrix lick that is in the key of E major. So we're going to be thinking about an E major pentatonic, also a C sharp minor pentatonic, but instead of thinking of playing a lick vertically, sort of across the neck from high strings to low strings, we're going to play this whole riff, this whole little lick on the 2nd string. So we're going to start with a C sharp to a B and do a little pull off, and then a slide. So from C sharp to B to G sharp. Then from B, pull off to G sharp and slide down to F sharp. Same thing down to E, and same thing from E down to C sharp. And then slide from C sharp back up to A. So we got. So this is a little Hendrix blues thing. You can think of playing it over a slow blues, and this is in the key of B. And this shape is coming out of a B7 chord. And you can actually think of this shape or get to it by making a classic D7 chord, an open position, and move that up to the 10th fret. So 1st finger, 10th fret, 2nd string, and 2nd and 3rd finger are on the 3rd and 1st string respectively on the 11th fret. And you'll pick 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string. And you can give it some vibrato, the whole chord. And you pick those 3 notes 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you'll slide that shape down a half step, down 1 fret. So you do it 4 times, and then just play the first shape, the B7 chord, just 1 time. So we got.
If you learned something from this video, check out Pick Up Music. We have hundreds of lessons from the world's top guitar players. You can start your 14-day trial today.